Walk with me. Walk with me, talk with me. Free your mind with Big G. Walk with me, talk with me. Free your mind with Big G. Hey everybody, it's Big G. 5K, we're gonna walk this way. I want to get right to it. Motivational edition. Go love somebody. Go hug somebody. Body a hand up. Be encouraging. That's what we need in our community. No bad news edition. It's all good, G. It's all good. We want to be proactive about cultivation. We want to be proactive about cultivation. We want to be deliberate. That's the only way we're going to improve our circumstances, improve our situation, by being a lot more deliberate. A lot more deliberate in our love for each other. What's up, man? We got to be a lot more deliberate in our health. We got to be a lot more intentional with good. We just got to be that, y'all. I want to particularly encourage the young men of young men. I want to encourage the young men of young men. If you have a young man in your life, be encouraging to him. Help him. Show him how to do something productive. Encourage him. Positively encouraging. Inspire him. Ask him how he doing. And wait to hear how he's doing. Like, don't just routinely inquire about a young man and not care. Our community is in need of some encouragement. We need to be inspirational to each other. We got to give each other a chance to be the best human being we could be. When you perform in anything, no matter what it is, you pick the activity. People wait. They sit back and wait for your performance. They give you a chance. So let's give each other a chance. Let's motivate. Let's inspire. Deliberately. I want to push this message because we looking down in the coffin and we saying, if I only knew, I love this individual. I'm talking about somebody that's dead. We got a lot of love for dead people. That's okay. I'm not against that. What I'm talking about, I'm just using that as a marker. I'm using that to prove, based on what we say out of our mouths, the person don't even have to be dead. The person could be in jail, could be facing serious charges, and everybody hear about it, and that's when, the comments come, I wish I'd have known, is there anything I could do? Well, it's kind of late to ask somebody that's dead or in jail. I mean, dead, it's late, but in jail, I'm sure you still got some time to help somebody. But why wait till they go to jail? Why wait to be sad, crying over a coffin? Why wait for those type of things? We've been lulled to sleep. We've been lulled to sleep. We say we care, but we don't. Or at least our community doesn't reflect genuine concern for each other. So don't wait till that young man get in trouble. Be encouraging to him before his experience with the law. Or encourage that young man by helping him find a good paying job. Refer him to a resource that can get him paid. We all want to get paid. So I have a video on senseless violence and how it's not so senseless. Look it up. But my point in that video is most violence come from I mean, if you boil the violence all the way down, it comes from somebody trying to get something that they could get with money, but they don't have it. So they need to find another way to achieve his goal. Crime comes from not enough. We don't have enough. Young man a young man trying to get a job, he can't secure a job because there are not a lot of jobs out here. But he still has needs and desires. So he get his wants granted from opportunities that he got to make himself. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to have something to invest. You know? I mean, you could turn one cup of lemonade into two, and 2 cups into 4, so on and so forth. That's a grassroots effort. But that's childish. Let's be frank and honest. I'm talking about a young man, 18 or older, trying to sell lemonade and lemonade stand. That's demoralizing. How you doing? I sure don't. So, you know, when we as human beings aspire to do great things, in order to do great things, you need the opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited in your community, which they very limited in our community, you feel like you have to make your own opportunity. How do you make your own opportunity? Well, you take a skill that you have, combine it with a resource that you acquire, and you sell those said goods to the public. What if you don't have a skill? What if you don't have a resource? Like the average young person that's been brought up in the black community because of systemic racism in our school system, in our employment, in our judicial, these things affect us. How? They limit our opportunity. So when the opportunities are limited, we have to be creative. So a real creative opportunity is a gun and a mask. Now, for those of you who can't believe I said that, keep in mind, I'm describing a young man that has little to no positive opportunities in his everyday life. So that's why this video is encouraging those of us who care, real men care about other men. Real men care about other men. So if you care about the men in your life, find one and ask him how he feels. And listen with great attentiveness. I'm serious. We the best at dressing up. Everything is okay. Because we've been beat up for years. We've been beat up for years. Now we need to be a lot more deliberate in our love for each other. We need to be a lot more deliberate in our love for each other. No gimmick, no equipment, no diet. It's a weight loss training. Genuine, authentic weight loss solution. No gimmick. No equipment. What I mean by no gimmick is, I'm not suggesting that you do something up front and then it requires some type of supplement down the road. That's a gimmick. Or it requires you to join some type of health club or pay some type of fee. That's a gimmick. No, Hey, how y'all doing?
Fine, how are you? Can I leave you one of my...
No thanks. Y'all have a nice day. No gimmicks. No equipment. You ain't gonna have to come back later and in the middle of whatever I'm suggesting. Now you gotta buy this. You gotta purchase that. No. What you gotta do is subscribe, share, and like my videos. And when I post a video, you already know that you could put the video on and you could walk with me while I talk about very interesting topics, one foot in front of the other. Very simple, yet very effective weight loss plan. No gimmick, no diet, no equipment. You gotta buy no equipment. What's up, man? Gotta buy no equipment. You gotta pay for no dietary supplements. One foot in front of the other. I'm gonna put my before and after picture to prove what I'm saying works. If I accompanied this 5-mile daily walk with a conscious diet, which I do eat pretty you know, I eat pretty consciously. I'm pretty conscious of my eating habits. Motivate, inspire, inspiration. We got to look out for each other. We good at being defensive. We're great at that. You know, the tough guy, who you looking at? I'll do this and I'll do that to you. We have mastered that, guys. Let's put that on the shelf. Tough guy has gotten us nowhere. Tough guy has gotten us nowhere. The tough act has the tough guy act has gotten us nowhere. The tough guy act is definitely a tool that's needed in the black community, because if you come off as a nice guy to the wrong people, to the wrong person, you'll become a victim or a target. So don't misunderstand my suggestions. But at the same time, we do have to be a little more receptive of each other, a little more encouraging, a little more understanding. I ain't saying be no doormat. Don't be no victim. It's not what I'm suggesting. I'm merely suggesting that when you're around your loved ones, young men, reach out to young men. Help them find some direction in their life. Let's not wait till the funeral. Let's not wait till the court date. We all guilty of it. When you hear a young man was killed, when he was killed by his community for various reasons, gang banging, drug dealing, just living, we quite frequently say, "Oh, I wish I could have helped." Yeah. Or we would suggest, "Is it anything that I could do?" You know, we'll suggest that. And then the young man that could use the help, he don't seek it. He don't go after it, because it's not trusted. We've been so abused. We've been so oppressed by other people that we do it to each other. Hurt people. So let's help each other. If there's one person looking at this video that have resources, give those resources a shelf life. Get them out of your head, get them out of your hand, get them out of your possession, and help somebody move along. Because if you help somebody, then they gonna help somebody. And if they help somebody, you look around, we'll have a Magnificent Mile in every neighborhood. We'll have a Gold Coast in every neighborhood. We'll have a presidential towers in every community. Those are nice, pristine communities and living dwellings that we all deserve. The only way we're gonna get there is if we help each other build. Help each other build. No negativity. She ain't looking. Just run me over. When y'all driving, y'all finna make a right turn, y'all looking left, look right too. Cause I expect there gonna be more people concerned about their health and taking these long walks to combat poor health. And when you're walking in the street, you gotta pay attention. That car that's making the right turn, he looking left. He ain't even looking at the walkers that's trying to make a difference physically. Let's assume we all going through something, right? Violence comes from isolation. Violence comes from lack of resource, lack of education, lack of opportunity. That's where the violence comes from on a lot of levels. We hear about the major violence. We hear about that on the news. You know, the smash and grabs where a group of men who could be building up the neighborhood, but because of bureaucracy, because of politics, because of selfish agendas, people have their personal agendas in politics. We keep that group of young men from building their community up. We contract them to tear it down, to destroy it, because they don't have a job. They sitting around regular human beings. They sitting around each other with wants and desires. How they gonna fulfill those desires? How they gonna fulfill those wants and desires? With criminal activity. If you don't have a positive opportunity, if you don't have a positive resource, then you gon' feed into your negative opportunity, your negative resource. So let's be positive, let's be intentional, deliberate in our giving, and let's give each other a chance. Let's give each other a hand up. You know, no negativity in this video. No negativity. I'm trying hard not to mention the resources that are errantly deployed in our community. They're errantly deployed. They make mistakes. They make a mistake with the resources that they allot our community. I'll explain. Instead of sending 10 officers, 10 additional officers. So let's use $50,000 as an income for one officer, and you send 10 of those in. That's $150,000 before overtime. That's $150,000. If you took that same $150,000 and passed out jobs in the community, meaningful jobs, not just people standing on the corner looking at each other. That's Safe Passage is really appreciated. I'm not taking a jab at Safe Passage. I'm taking a jab at community leaders, because in addition to opportunities as human beings, we want to feel appreciated. We want to feel a sense of accomplishment. Now, for some of us, standing up on the corner, getting a check that's an accomplishment in itself, But from a deeper, even those of you that'll say, that's an accomplishment, I'll stand up there, you'll feel more of an accomplishment if you were performing something other than just standing there. If you were assembling something, if you were providing some information, if you was helping in a more direct way. And why do we have to watch our kids anyway? Because a lot of people got a lot of time on their hands. A lot of people watching our children, so we have to watch them too. So let's not misunderstand my point. We definitely have to protect the young, protect our youth. We need to get these people out of these basements and out of these rooms that's isolated and perfect candidates for pedophiles and rapists, and they human beings too. Got to get in their head and figure out why. It would benefit us as a community to figure these things out. In the meanwhile, let's be encouraging to each other. Let's inspire, motivate. I'm walking, y'all. We still walking. And we're back. Big G. on this 5 miles. No gimmick, no equipment, no diet, no BS. Just one foot in front of the other. Just booty burning. Just booty burning. Walking. Encourage, inspire, motivate. Instead of sending all of those officers in our community with little to no training, they just know how to shoot and arrest people. So instead of sending 10 officers in the community at $50,000 a piece, let's take that $150,000 and let's wait. Did I say 150? Wow. I'm sorry. 50 officers, 10, that's $500,000, my bad. That's $500,000. You know what made me think? When I said 150, I said that's not a lot of resources compared to 50 officers. Wait, 10 officers at $50,000. That's $500,000. 10 officers at $50,000 a piece. That's $500,000 that can help young men much better in a program on the job versus the police coming and standing on the corner batting batons like they finna bust you over the head or shoot you. Talking about what you looking at. You know? We want to be a lot less accidental. We want to be a lot more deliberate. We want to be a lot more deliberate in our help. For real. We want to reach out to each other. Don't wait till things get bad. You got to help. The help is, you need more resources after an incident occur. You need more resources. If you come after the fact, help a young man understand that it's okay. It's okay to be educated. That's the biggest hoax they pulled off on us, is got us believing that being educated is nerdy. That was brilliant in terms of gentrification, in terms of degradation, in terms of self-destruction. We're gonna push the narrative that To be educated is to be a nerd. And to be a nerd is to be weak. And to be weak is to be vulnerable. So who wants to be vulnerable? Who wants to be a doormat for anybody? Nobody. So let's understand that nobody wants to be a doormat for anybody. You don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be weak. So I don't want to learn. No, because people that are educated are nerds. Like once they got anybody to believe that, whew. Insane to the member. Got to be encouraging. Got to be inspirational. Talk with me, free your mind with Big G. Hey everybody, it's Big G. I'm on a 5K walk through the south side of Chicago. Motion creates emotion. Trying to burn it, baby. Trying to burn it, baby. And it's burning. Yes, it is. It's burning. Today I want to talk about mental health issues from a layman's standpoint, just from a regular schmegler, a regular old normal cat that's walking down the street, not totally aware of the degree mental health issues that is among us. Mental health is a real thing in our community. Who can we blame? We'll get to that later. But just understand that mental health is a thing everywhere. Mental health issues have no ethnicity limitations. It hasn't a financial barrier, none of that. You know? Mental health issues affect us all. Mental health issues range from small and minor able to be overlooked, all the way to severely traumatizing insanity, like a cat getting a gun and resolving each and every issue that is presented to him or her with the gun. Like, that's crazy. That's insane. That's a mental health issue. I heard a case recently where a guy shot up, was it Parkway? The guy shot up Parkway because this is what the report says. How true it is, or you know. But they said he shot up the party because they wouldn't sing happy birthday to his girl. So, if that's not an example of a mental health issue, had another example of a mental health issue when a young man set up a purchase of an iPhone on social media. Set it up through social media. And he gonna meet the guy there, and then he gonna rob him. I mean, that might sound like it makes sense, but that's really crazy. That's insane to do all of that for an iPhone. You know, there's a thumbprint, there's some type of record of yourself. Then you got to show up. Then the person might be packing just as well as you. So, I mean, you know, all of these things are real, true.
Now you got attitude, but I'm saying, let me run somewhere real quick.
Mental health issues are prevalent. It's our responsibility. Go with this scenario. If we raise the stigma of mental health, if we raise the stigma of mental health, that'll give people a chance to get help. It's not inviting to admit that your brain, it's not inviting to admit nothing work. No part, I got a toeache. You keep that to yourself. You don't just run around telling people, oh, my toe hurt. That's just the way humans are. But speaking from the human standpoint, nobody wants to admit that there's something wrong with them. Nobody. Who would do that? That's not normal. So. You asking somebody to first diagnose themselves personally as needing some attention mentally. You wanted them to diagnose themselves. Then you want them to admit such a damning admission, such a negative thing to just, put yourself out there like, and even the way I'm referencing it, I'm vilifying it. Put yourself out there, like putting yourself out there is a negative thing. So why would I even refer to something that's positive so negatively? Putting yourself out there is a negative connotation. Admitting that you are in need of help to help your community, that's a good thing. The community meaning yourself. A community of one. Working out. That's what I'm doing. If you walking with me, you working out too. Walking contributes to your mental welfare positively. When you walk, you create emotion. Motion creates emotion. So when you walking one foot in front of the other, your brain is walking with you. Mental exercise. A mental exercise, if you will. We need to do some mental reps. Some psychological sit-ups. That's what walking is. It's a psychological sit-up. Crossword puzzles, my wife loves them. She just sit there and do crossword puzzles all day. Anytime she got a moment, she loves crossword puzzles. I'm no neurologist, but I'm sure searching for words amongst a bunch of jumbled up letters is psychological. It's a psychological sit-up. Dementia is a deteriorating, is a psychological condition. You're psychologically deteriorating. That's what dementia represents. Your brain is basically rotting away, if you will, I guess. You start forgetting things. Start forgetting people. I imagine one way to counter that is to exercise. When you exercise and you're alleviating toxins, you literally sweat from the top of your head. That's one way. Another way is to read. Reading encourages brain power. Reading promotes cognitive growth. The more you read, the better your brain. That's the more you read. So if you're reading words in a crossword puzzle, I believe video games stimulate the mind. I'm no expert. I think from logic. So logically speaking, if you gotta hold a controller in your hand and you gotta know the configuration of the buttons, push said buttons in a response to whatever activity is on the screen. You got to keep up with all of these things, whether fast or slow or in between. You work in your brain. So as negative as video games are to society, they waste time and, they're not productive. I believe our society is going to evolve to video games being a psychological workout. It's going to be understood that if you want to exercise your brain, you could read or you could play a video game that's designed to promote mental health. How do we address mental health issues if it's not a loved one, if it's not a family member? Hell, how do we address it if it's a loved one, if it's a family member? How do you call somebody crazy? Respectfully. Like that's what we all dealing with. How do you respectfully call somebody crazy? Right? First you start by
Motherfucker ran up on this curb.
First you start by taking out the word crazy. That's the first thing I imagine. Want to be gentle, want to be subtle. Mental health issue. Mental health issue. Not a reference of crazy. Well, you insane. No, not that. That'll drive a person away. That'll make them much more evasive, much more elusive. If you call them crazy, or if you say, boy, you insane. But if you say you got some mental health issues, takes a lot of the sting out. It takes a lot of the negative connotation out of it when you say you're facing some mental challenges or you have a mental health issue. I guess that's how you would do it if you was the family. I'm seeing in the news, we live in a social media age, so it's a thing to get some of your information from social media. I mean, but I'm starting to notice that family members that do call on their loved ones with issues like autism. Now, autistic is not quite a mental health issue, but the individual that is autistic, as well as the individual that has mental health issues, display some of the same characteristics, some of the same traits. So these two conditions probably will fall in the same category in terms of a response from emergency vehicles or emergency staff. But loved ones have called on their autistic loved one. Look it up. And the police show up with brute force. Like the police show up with brute force. You know? They show up wrong. Guns drawn, you know. Now, in all fairness to any responding authority, it's not easy showing up when somebody is behaving erratically, whether it's a mental health issue, whether it's autistic, whether it's behavioral issues. I mean, behavior in the sense of you just ignorant. and you just defiant. You're not robbing nobody. You're not, sticking nobody up, breaking into nothing. But you are telling your mama to shut up and, leave you alone, and you might push her and all that. I see these instances on social media, and when the police show up, they go in. You hear me? They go in with brute force. Do they have to? Sometimes, yes. Most of the time, no. A lot of times when the police show up, that person, that individual, their behavior subsides significantly right away. Sometimes the person is truly having an issue with authority or identifying authority. So they're not standing down. They're not listening. They're actually becoming more aggressive, more defiant. How do you handle that without killing? That's not fair for them to die. That's not fair for them to even be hurt at all. But how do you handle that? Whose rights are more important? Everybody got rights, right? The right to life. Right? The right to life, period. That's it. That covers everything. You got a right to live. Who could take that right from you? I intend to pick my pace up soon. These winter months take a little more energy to get out here. There's no excuse, it's just the truth. Take a little more energy to get out here. It's cold, snowing. Drunk some beers last night. Yeah, all that make a difference. Straight. When you hear me say no more beers, I'm serious. Now the reason I say this is because if you gave a lot of the things that you do some serious thought, some deep thought, if you gave a lot of the things that you do some serious and deep thought, you wouldn't do them. And drinking beer, for me, is one of those things. So, what does beer do for you? It gets you drunk, right? Okay. What do that mean? Make your stomach big? I don't know. So, you could walk her easier if you got out.
I know, but I ain't trying to walk her though. I didn't want her to use it in the car. I'm waiting on somebody to come down. I didn't want to use it in the car.
Oh.
Because she'll do that.
I'm a dog person, that's why I'm stopping, that's all.
Oh.
What's her name?
Skittles.
Skittles.
Yeah.